Hello! How's it going, everybody? And welcome to Crim Sunday, my sort of, official, unofficial, official for my channel, event wherein I have a back-to-back music talk stream leading into a tier list stream. I don't know if this is a format that I'm going to repeat for the future, but I thought it would just be a cheeky little fun way to, introduce a new sort of possibly video format for the channel. We've got a very specific band that we're talking about today, leading into their tier list. I thought it would be fun, just to sort of give at least you guys and maybe some other friends of mine like the opportunity to air their own opinions about King Crimson before I flood y'all's timelines with my own. So to that end, I brought in two of my friends from the Algorythms podcast to, sort of chat with me about, what they feel about King Crimson's discography. I'm definitely going to share my opinions too and such, but, I won't go as in depth. I'll just probably bounce off of them with what I think and what have you. I won't go too in depth with like ratings or rankings or whatever. That's what the tier list video is for. So without further ado, won't you please join me in welcoming Duke and Meander from the Algorhythms?
Howdy.
How's it going, you guys?
Oh.
Oh.
All right.
Welcome.
I got a snuggly little doggo here.
Oh, very nice. bring in the pets for the King Crimson talk for sure. So as you see, right, I've got, I brought back a little thing that I used to have for when I started doing these music talk streams back like in April or so. I tried to sort of structure it around like various topics that I'd written down beforehand instead of just, speaking off the cuff with my audience and my guests as I do now. But I'm going to bring it back for this stream because, I want to keep us on pace because I want to go sort of album by album with their discography here. So we might as well, just sort of start from the top, start from the very beginning, a very good place to start. What do you guys think about In the Court of the Crimson King? Do you love it or do you absolutely adore it?
Iconic album for a good reason, and honestly the one that really codified a lot of the tropes that progressive rock would set in stone. I mean, look at what Yes and Jethro Tull were doing around, or Genesis were doing before 1970.
It's up there as probably one of the best debut albums of all time, especially in the prog genre, where I think the only one that even passes it is Emerson, Lake and Palmer's self-titled debut. Which, speaking of which, I currently have the vinyl in my hand. It's the only one I have right now. Well, it's iconic enough to everyone should own a copy of it on vinyl. But Greg Lake proves that he's an amazing singer. I'm lucky enough to do Emerson, Lake and Palmer beforehand. And I was like, okay, I've done it when he's with a trio. What about I guess we can call them not the full-on granddaddies of prog rock, but the ones that really got the ball rolling with.
Yeah. No, I absolutely agree. Like, Greg Lake's vocals are so commanding, not just, on this album, but, on every album that he's recorded. Like, he pairs very well with Peter Sinfield's more like flowery, poetic lyrics,
Which God bless his soul, man. So, as he recently died.
R.I.P.
Also did also was producer of Roxy Music self-titled debut, as we plug that back in. But you have these amazing people on there. Robert Fripp and Brian Eno are the most connected people in every term of music. Because if you look at any artist he's done, he's worked.
6 Degrees of Robert Fripp is a game you could totally play.
Ian McDonald, who, by the way, after leaving, forms the band Foreigner. So
yeah, that's always been like the biggest mind fuck. Like, he was a part of the Foreigner super group, and We got like 2 AOR supergroups out of King Crimson, technically,
Aggressive.
between Foreigner and, later when we'll talk about
And
Islands.
Asia.
Boz Burrell went. Oh, well, Asia too, but Boz Burrell went and joined Bad Company after Islands, so it's.
Hey, shout to that companies, man.
Oh yeah, I don't know what it is about King Crimson and producing members that go on to do AOR. I guess they sort of see all the complex shit that they're doing and they're in King Crimson, and then when they get out of it, they're just like, okay, no more of that.
Like, what? Honestly, where do we start with this record?
I mean,
Do we start with 21st century schizoid man? Think upon USA.
what a classic song. I mean,
Yeah.
it basically invented
Victoria
progressive
5
metal.
is something for that.
I mean, King Crimson. I don't know, like.
I mean, arguably, if Rush didn't, King Crimson did.
Yeah, there's also like, I don't know, just like I love the synergy between like the saxes and the guitars, in King
Goddamn
Crimson on
that
this
drummer.
album. Like on this track, on also like what they're doing on what kind of the interplay on Moonchild. Like, oh my, I know that's one of the more divisive songs in the album, but I think it's really neat.
I
like,
think
the textures
Moonchild
they
could get
create.
cut. I think
Wow.
Moonchild section is fine, but it drags on a little longer than it should.
Yeah.
Should.
I mean, I can understand both perspectives, both sides of it. I mean, the ballad is absolutely gorgeous, but the free jazz is definitely an acquired taste.
Free jazz.
I think goes a little overkill.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Which
the
is
album
surprising
basic.
because they had like material that was in the works, didn't like they had a bunch of other stuff written for that would show up on the next album, but I don't know. I guess didn't all come together in the studio on time.
Yeah.
I think
God.
the more impressive about this is I think all the percussions I believe were like recorded on like 1 8-track, and it's like fucking
Oh,
insane.
wow.
It's like
That's
all
that's
that was
awesome.
recorded on that. But another thing about why it's iconic. I mean, the album cover. I mean, come on. You ever seen a screaming man who said, "Yep, that's King Crimson"?
Yeah,
I mean, I had a shirt of that for years.
yeah.
God.
It's unfortunate too. Like it's like I feel like I heard the album artist died pretty shortly after.
Yeah, he died of a
contributing
heart
it.
attack.
So-
Fripp has a picture of it still in his room, in his house. So
Oh yeah. I mean,
good friend of his.
what a way to go out. I mean, one of the most iconic album arts of all time.
Better
I
to.
believe it may have actually been his only painting, I hear, too.
Oh, interesting. Hell of a legacy.
There you go. God bless. So.
Yeah.
So, honestly, this album's so iconic, we probably could do an entire stream just devoted to talking about this track by track on this album alone.
Oh yeah.
Fusion.
It's a 10 out of 10, and I think in total rankings it's number 2.
Number
Mm.
Perf 11 out of 10. 3. It's on number 3 on my list. So.
Such a good album. Listen to Epitaph and Court of the Crimson King on
Yes.
loop.
Yes.
Welcome, Jukebox Cowboy. Good to see you. I've been mastering stuff all day. My brain is mush. Could use a break. Oh well, welcome welcome to
Hi.
the bosom of the King Crimson Talk stream, I guess. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah. I guess we can move on then to let's talk
Doppelganger
about-
album, as you're gonna call it.
Yep. This was out the original. This is where I originally coined the term doppelganger album with this next one, because In the Wake of Poseidon is a very. It doesn't do anything really new that that it's that the original didn't do better. Honestly, I mean, Cat Food doesn't really have an analog, but I wouldn't necessarily call cat. It's more like lateral movement as opposed to like doing something new.
I mean, you do have solid stuff like Cadence and Cascade or
Oh
Pictures
yeah,
of a City, but
yeah,
and the
yeah,
title track in particular.
yeah. Pictures of the City. That was one of the
Devil's
ones.
Triangle.
Devil's Triangle.
Like,
It's weird too, because this album's kind of strong, like on side one, but when you get to side two, once the theme of peace and cat food starts playing, it just goes
Yeah.
right in the.
You know, I wish. I get the inclination to have like a sort of suite of songs that recurs throughout the album, but I don't know. It feels jarring to whenever one of those peace songs shows up. Like it's kind of a pace. I don't know.
it is.
Like kind of a pace killer. Kind of tonally dissonant with the rest of it. Not to say those pieces aren't
Really?
beautiful though.
Maybe some of them could have been developed into full songs, or like they feel like they're fragments of something that never got fully flushed out.
Yeah, yeah, totally. Like I don't know. I think the one of the coolest parts about this album were like some of the performances from the sidemen that they brought. Sort of the transitional members, like Keith Tippett, Mel Collins. They contribute some great like jazz influenced
Collins
piano and oh yeah, Mel Collins. Yeah, he's great. And of course, like shout out to Gordon Haskell for contributing vocals for the first and certainly not the last time for King Crimson, but but we'll see what that last time resulted in soon.
Yeah, this is the 7 out of 10 album. It's fine, but it's the 10th best King Crimson album.
6.5 out of 10. I understand the if it ain't broke, don't fix it type mentality with this record with the previous one, but I felt like
Especially it came out only a year later.
well I mean, why don't you say that? That was standard 70s. You just do this album, concert, tour, bam, I'll do all that. That's how you do it. There's no breaks, but actually, I'm not sure this could be a little controversial, but this is actually on the bottom of my King Crimson interaction.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I can get that. It's like I said, it doesn't really say anything new compared to the debut. Like you've got In the Wake of Poseidon is Epitaph at Home, Pictures of a City is 21st Century Schizoid Man at Home, Devil's Triangle is Moonchild at Home, etc., etc. But it's a fun album. I can see why you like it, Jukebox Cowboy. And how's it going, Just Some Dude? And RC24888, good to see you guys.
Hello.
Love in the Wake. It's great when you listen to the first album, but you're sick of the first. Oh, that's true. It's like In the Wake of Poseidon is good if you want more of the first album. So like, I definitely don't think it's bad, but it's definitely like, I don't know. It's a little like, I don't know. It's kind of like how
It's a shade below the original.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like the difference with Van Halen 1 and 2. Like, Van Halen 2 is a phenomenal record, but, it doesn't really do anything beyond, like, the first,
And now for something completely different.
Oh, yeah.
Lizard.
Let's get into that. Let's, because Just Some Dude is saying that Lizard is his favorite album. Lizard is a very sonically unique album. I will give it that. I don't know if it succeeds 100% in all of the sonic experimentations it sets out to, accomplish.
Now that I'm thinking about it, this is kind of a pretty good album, but it's in one ear out the other, apart from the 23-minute title track. And hello there, John Anderson.
Hi.
yeah, John Anderson. He goes. I love the anecdote with his recording of the song where he had this like connection to the name Prince Rupert because it was like a train that passed by his town or whatever, and he was all like sentimental and stuff from recording it and relayed this song to Fripp, and he was just like, all right, John, goodbye. just classic Fripp indifference.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's Fripp in a nutshell.
I mean,
Robert King Crimson is God. I love Robert Fripp. Robert Fripp's awesome, an awesome musician. Other side of King Crimson, God, this Robert Fripp's kind of an asshole.
But he's stepping OnlyFans. Come on.
Robert Fripp is an asshole, but he is a very focused asshole in the fact that you clearly know what he wants and what you're getting into by working with him.
What? It's like you're in King Crimson. Like once you enter the room, you see a door. It's like that's his band. This is his ideas. What he wants.
Yeah, unfortunately, Greg Haskell and Annie McCulloch didn't really realize that and had an awful time recording this album.
Sad.
I'm a medieval European boo, so side 2 is the shit. Well, it's really interesting. Like I think that this album as a whole has a very Ren Fair meets, chamber jazz sort of approach. Like it's a very, very pastoral, but also very, not afraid to vary it up with all the textures and such, which, I don't know, like some of the sonic experimentation works here and there, but like fucking Happy Family is almost unlistenable.
Yeah. That's the reason this album's a 9 instead of a 10.
Yeah.
And I'll say this, I remember hearing Robert Fripp hate this album and thought it was the worst King Crimson album for years. Then Steven Wilson remastered it and went like, wait,
oh yeah. Now,
what
like
was
this,
I thinking? This album's great.
there's a lot to love about like what Steven Wilson's done for like the Crimson remaster, and like especially all the stuff that Crimson's been putting out nowadays with the remastering. It's great hearing those early albums, like all the layers and for what they are. I mean, personally, I feel like it's a bit like, I love King Crimson when they play with multiple sonic layers, but this is a bit too intense for me. Like, I don't know, like, how to say, the title track, right, Lizard, it's interesting, like the John Anderson part, and I love the Battle of Glass Tears, but like, everything else goes on just a bit too long, and it's just a bit too baroque for me in a way that other King Crimson albums really aren't.
Right.
New album reaction streams. I don't listen to music on stream. I don't think I've ever, like, I mean, technically I don't really care much for copyright or whatever on my channel, but I do care for keeping streams up, and I don't really want to, like, risk getting my channel struck or whatever just because I listened to an album on stream.
Oops.
Yeah. What's interesting? The early albums don't have a lot of prominent guitar.
King Crimson.
They
really don't.
Yeah, they don't.
They
like,
really
it's
don't.
There's a lot of woodwind, a lot of keys, surprisingly.
Funny things.
And bitch and drums, of course.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason Rezi is not decided to try to learn a King Crimson song on drums.
Well, I mean, I do try to jam to King Crimson every now and then, but it's like King Crimson drummers are on a whole other level. RC, you mentioned Giles and you mentioned McDonald and Giles in chat. Unfortunately, I haven't listened to much of them, but it's really sad to me that Michael Giles never really went on to do much beyond King Crimson and like Michael and McDonald and Giles, because he is a hell of a fucking underrated drummer. But like,
I mean, on that debut, first 2 albums alone, shit.
Yeah,
it makes it worth it.
Yeah, to say to speak a bit more on Lizard, of the drumming, like Andy McCulloch does a serviceable job. He's just kind of there though. Like, I don't know.
As for where I put this on the album rankings, Lizard's number 5.
Interesting.
Lizard, I don't know. It's interesting for me. I mean, obviously, I'll say my ranking later, but it's a mid-tier like King Crimson album for me. Like there are a few cuts I'll come back to every now and then, but like I don't really. I don't know. I'm indifferent to it. It doesn't really work for me. I get what it's going for, but I don't know.
As for me, I have this at number 8 on my list with a score an 8.5 out of 10. So.
Wow.
Oh god. Now here's an album next album's gonna be one me and Duke's really split down the middle.
Oh yeah.
Islands.
Great album.
Let me.
I think this album is not very good at points. I think this is where that jamming, for the most part, goes nowhere.
Really dig
it
Islands.
doesn't have the focus or the drive that they're jamming on Lark's Tongue or Starless and Bible Black do.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I will say, of course, I don't think Boz Burrell or Ian Wallace, they do a fine job instrumentally, but they, the live band obviously probably wouldn't have lasted to play like Lark's Tongues and Aspic or any of that stuff. What I do love about this album,
feels boring in spots on this album.
I can see that. I don't know. I feel like it does like sort of the pastoral thing a little better from Lizard. I think that especially in Formentera Lady, while you could definitely make the argument that it goes on a little long, I really love how it sort of devolves in the back half and just generates into a bunch of chaos. Like, that's the thing about this album. It's not afraid to get very ugly on the same track that it gets really beautiful, like Ladies of the Road, Sailor's Tale, fucking what's the other one? The Letters. Oh my god, The Letters is a beast of a song.
Islands, the title track.
The Islands is great. It's one of my personal favorite King Crimson songs.
And was the final song on pretty much every show of their final tour.
Oh yeah, unfortunately I don't think I ever heard them play that live when I went to go see them, but it's a gorgeous tune. Like I don't know, like Boz Burrell, for only being on one King Crimson album, his vocals were really something sweet.
And spots, yes.
I love
Duke,
Islands, but
my score and placement of this may shock you. This is number 12 at 5.5 out of 10.
Really? You don't like it that much? You really don't like it that much, huh?
you hate it more.
I liked about half the songs here.
It's surprising to me because like I've seen like other critics online say that this is the worst of like the first 4 King Crimson albums, and I can understand that, but with as sonically cluttered as Lizard was, like you'd think there'd be a little more discussion there.
All right.
And the album that I think is at the bottom of my list is I'm gonna be curious which one if we share a bottom.
That sounds wrong. That sounds wrong.
I just thought of how wrong it would be right after it left my mouth.
This is what. But listen, I'm a little. I mean, I'll be honest, man. It might shock me. I'm gonna be honest. I think I'm gonna throw chairs at you when we do Genesis next Sunday. So more than this. So because we got guests over. So
Lord.
But
you guys.
No, this is 10 out of 10 album. 1 of 6. Yes, I said 6, and it's at number 6.
Yeah. I love violence, but Ladies of the Road is terrible. Yeah, Ladies of the Road. Sorry to keep dragging the conversation, but Ladies of the Road, I'm of two minds about it, right? Like, obviously the lyrics are very sleazy and not the most King Crimson thing in the world, but like instrumentally, it's fucking solid.
What's the next one? I found the goat.
Yeah, let's move on to talking about free improv and Eastern European classical music. 'Cause, oh my god, the mid-70s incarnation of King Crimson is insane. I mean, I don't know if you call it, I don't know if it's the mid-70s, like it was 72, 74. It's the closest thing to mid-70s Crimson got. Like, I love this fucking lineup. I mean, Bill Bruford is one of my favorite drummers of all time, so I have quite a bit of a bias, but at the same time, just the amount they were able to just sort of go off and explore all these unique textures in the percussion, in David Cross's violin playing, like it was a very unique Crimson combo compared to everything else that they played up to that point.
All I gotta say is this is, I mean, the year 1973 was, I will argue, you may disagree, I think it was the best year in music, because I mean, come on, let's see, you had House of the Holy by Led Zeppelin, Dark Side of the Moon by Pink Floyd, Latin Zane by Bowie, Piano Man by Billy Joel, and a lot of amazing jazz R&B albums. Like, I say this is the year of super high quality stuff, and this is one of them. It's their best album of all time. Like,
I can see that.
I mean, I think it's a little blasphemy for our next album, but I love that album too. We'll get to that, but
yeah,
something about this album with the more presence of that medieval Middle Europe music, and even like the hint of what is called avant-garde metal. I was like, I did not expect those two combinations to work.
Yeah, like
but
the combo, like the combo on like the both of Lark's Tongues and Aspic of like Robert Fripp playing off David Cross's violin. It's incredible, like sort of the contrast between the soft and the heaviness of it all. It's very Stravinsky.
Like that. I love Bill Bruford too. He's not, I mean, picking the best prog drummers or like the 70s drummers is really hard to, because you're in a class of its own.
Yeah.
Like Neil Peart of Rush, John Bonham, trying to think of Phil Collins. Like, I mean, like.
But like Bill played for like 3 of like the biggest prog rock bands of all time, so that's got to count for something, right?
I mean, he did with Yes for Yes. I love.
Did you miss an album? I had to go do an errand, run an errand.
Okay, no problem. What was it gonna say?
What? I forgot for the chores. I forgot to empty the dishwasher, so I got called to do that.
Oh, okay, no problem. We can.
I am such a disaster lesbian.
That's fine. Let's see.
So, missed anything about Lark's Tongues?
Yeah, you can share your opinion if you need to go do that.
This is a good album, but it's not Duke, my number one. Unlike Duke, this is number 3, 10 out of 10.
I hear that. And yeah, as RC mentioned in chat, Exiles is an absolutely gorgeous bout. Like
yes.
The vocal tracks on this album are like, though they're few, they're really interesting. Like, I don't know, I don't really care. Personally, I don't really care too much for
Wetton was the second best vocal.
But like Exiles and Easy Money are solid.
Yeah, they are. Wetton was easily the second best vocalist this band has ever had. Oh wait. Yeah, I say easily, and then I remembered Adrian Belew.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like Wetton, to me, he's got a very like very serviceable sort of voice. It's very coarse. I feel like meant more for like basic sort of arena rock, but it does do its job like on this album. I think he does a good job of Exiles and like other ballads on the next few albums.
Ooh.
Alright.
The weakest, and then we're gonna go the weakest album of the Wettin era.
Yeah. Well, Meander,
It's still pretty damn good.
if you gotta go and empty your dishwasher right now, it's all good. While I
I already did.
Oh, okay, you did.
That's what it was muted for.
Oh, I got you. Okay, let me bring this up then. On to the big improv album of the era, Starless and Bible Black, which, fun fact, inspired an Eroge name, and probably a bunch of other anime shit too. But I mean, you know Araki was bumping all of this shit in the 80s.
Yeah. Yeah, he was. JoJo's. I mean, that stand named after the band. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
There you go.
Starless is the weakest album of the 70s. It's between that and Lizard for me. Like I don't know. Like I love some of the tracks on it. Like it's a very avant metal sort of prog. Like Lament, Great Deceiver, even as jarring as the opening line for that song still has a lot to love there.
Unfortunate choice of words.
Which apparently he meant to say like it was like some sort of meatball thing, but I've never.
Yes, and I've actually found the Wikipedia article for the food definition.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah, that I guess.
So I believe it's an English thing, an English dish.
Yeah.
Too,
So
so.
it could mean one or the other, but I'm just some dude. I'm gonna be honest. If it wasn't for like a percent, I'm gonna have to agree on that to a degree. I'm like,
Yeah.
Wicked Poseidon and Islands are not the two I consider weaker than this, but
yeah.
this is still pretty good. This one's actually still pretty good.
Do you like any of like the extended like instrumental like I mean I think the only one that I really vibe with is Fracture, and that's more so because that was a more structured thing.
Yeah. I kind of dig the title track a little. But Fracture is the highlight, no question.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely stunning how apparently that song. I mean, I'm not a guitarist. I don't know shit about like what the finger placements in that song are.
I've looked up the tab for the guitar tab for this. That entire quiet section where Thrupp is just doing an arpeggio is just the tab for that looks ridiculous.
And he's playing that shit like a banjo.
Like minutes on end, so it is an endurance test for Thrupp to play that on guitar.
Yeah.
There you go.
You also think Starless is a 10 out of 10 jukebox? I mean I can get behind. I can understand why people would think that. I mean it's arguably the Crimson like the 70s Crimson lineup working at their apex. But I mean the only reason I say arguably is because there exists so many like live concerts that were captured of this era of and that were later released as live albums, and like practically half this album was later, like the full concert was released as the Night Watch.
Nice.
There you go.
Fucking great. This is still like an 8.5 out of 10, but it's number 7 on my listing.
This
Makes
is
sense.
7.5 out of 10, and this is actually on number 11 for me. So,
makes sense. Yeah. So the second worst on your in your ranking.
It's third for him.
Oh, third. miscounting the amount of King Crimson albums. But yeah, I don't know. It's Starless and Bible Black is a decent album. It's more like a play after listening to Crimson for a while sort of album, though. One where you can really appreciate their musicianship.
It's not the
Okay.
case with the next album.
Yep. Let me.
The
Spoilers, this is number 1 for me. 10
Yeah,
out of 10 gold star.
I love this album too. It's my personal favorite King Crimson album. You know, as much as you can say for 21st century schizo, well, Court of the Crimson King and all of what it did for progressive rock, like Red is just such a powerhouse of an album in comparison, in my opinion.
I mean, King Crimson just did, if Court of the Crimson King did 21st Century Schizoid Man wasn't the birth of progressive metal,
This certainly was.
this is a damn good claim.
Yeah. I mean, well, just
every
the
song nearly every song has an abrasive moment that knocks you in the fucking teeth.
yeah. I mean, really, just the entire
74 standards.
yeah, just the entire like mid '70s Crimson lineup in general. Like, even when they had like Jamie Muir and David Cross like in the band, like there was a power to it. There was an intensity that verged on heavy metal. Like, I think Robert Fripp is quoted as calling like the Bruford Wet and Rhythm section the flying brick wall, in that it was just such an overwhelming like force of a sound that that it actually caused David Fripp to quit the band. He was like, I can't hear myself over this shit, essentially.
David Fripp?
David Cross.
David.
Oh.
Dave, for that, I honestly didn't know rock people can fuse like that, like they're fucking Saiyans.
No,
You should.
but I'm just, I'm glad
There
that they
is
were able to.
so many goddamn highlights on this thing.
I'm glad that they were able to refocus their sound away from like all that improv into a very honed in like prog metal sound. Like,
Actually, get an idea.
Red's got to be the worst album. Just kidding, y'all. I was about to say we were gonna fight Jukebox Cowboy. No, I really do.
Do you want to get a band? You want to get banned?
Nah, I really do love Red though. Like, One More Red Nightmare, the title track.
Good God.
Like, fucking Fallen Angel. Like, the more that song
Good
does
God,
not get
Fallen
talked
Angel.
about enough.
It really doesn't. Especially that ending where I'm like, oh god, is this getting post-rocky? A little post-rocky?
Yeah, it's really
And
fascinating.
speaking of
like,
post-rock, there's one song we haven't talked about. Probably a contender for the best Pink. And
Bible Block! Fucking love that song.
How do these three guys do it? Like, they're like, I mean,
Well, it technically wasn't just the three guys. They also had like Mel Collins and Ian McDonald coming in, doing some guest appearances, and like I think they hired some like other woodwinds and violin people. But it is a very focused project. Like, apparently Robert Fripp just went completely neutral for this, because he was at the point in his music career where it's like, the music industry's bullshit. I'm getting into mysticism. I don't care about any of this.
yeah, it did a
Average,
fuck ton of session work in the late 70s, early 80s.
like, I mean, like I said when we talked about the Corn Crimson King, like the amount of people Robert Fripp worked with is like Brian Eno in a way. We're like, oh shit,
Yeah.
oh shit, you
yeah.
worked with this, you worked with this guy and this guy, this guy. Like, I mean, for God's sakes, in
He
the
worked
'70s.
I mean, for God's sakes, he did a guest guitar solo on a Hall & Oates song at one point.
Not just
That's
that.
how you know he was off.
Not just that. He produced like Daryl Hall's debut solo album.
He did.
I mean,
Yeah.
he was on like what Peter Gabriel's first two albums had like their first two albums. His first two albums like that first Peter Gabriel. Dude, that fucking guitar bass line at the beginning of the song still fucking makes me go. Like, Jesus.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
dun, 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 dun. That's like
DIY.
I think I say DUI on accident. DUI. Or I mean, we could.
Fripp's guitar work, after he broke up King Crimson, as sad as it was to lose King Crimson, it was probably worth it for all of that stuff, honestly.
I mean, we can say one. I mean, we can have a whole debate on whether this is the best 3-man lineup in prog. I mean, you could say them, Rush. Emerson, Lake and Palmer. Like, I mean,
yeah. I mean, like, it's interesting to think, like, if Fripp still had like the motivation to keep going with Crimson, like, where could they have gone from Red? But at the same time, this is kind of a culmination album, right, of everything else that had come before, like from In the Court of the Crimson King up till now, kind of.
It's a painkiller type of album where it's like all these years of build up, letting everything come at once, and it's like you can't replicate that ever again. Type of album.
Definitely.
Unless if you tried starting from scratch again, and even then, that never happened. Not to this extent.
Which, I guess, speaking of starting from scratch, you already gave your
boy.
your rankings.
What a damn good album ahead. Discipline.
Let's talk about 80s Crimson. What a lineup! What a sound! I mean, like the 80s era of King Crimson is personally not my favorite, but I really do love what they were going for with it. It's the first King Crimson lineup to have like 2 guitarists at once, and like the way Fripp incorporated those layers in is just stunning. When
interlocking,
it's incredible.
It's time signature insanity. Look no further than the title track.
The Rock Gamelan, as he called it. and as you mentioned, like, Discipline is just crazy.
We don't mean the wand of Gamelan.
In order to keep a pit, it burns.
I'm personally not familiar with Captain and Tennille, either of y'all in chat, but I wonder if at some point they might have worked with King Crimson.
Maybe get us together.
Duke knows something. Tony Tennille, the Tony Tennille of Captain Tennille, was actually credited at one point of guest female vocals on The Wall.
Huh. Well, there's your prog rock connection right there.
More to come. I mean.
Though I wonder if King Crimson and Pink Floyd ever crossed paths. Like if Robert Fripp ever did anything with the members of Pink Floyd.
I know some of them. I think it was Mel Collins who worked with Roger Waters on Radio Chaos. I could be very wrong on that.
Here we are playing 6 Degrees of Robert Fripp.
I mean,
I made the joke. Yeah, I made the joke saying we could do that like 6 Degrees of David Bowie.
Speaking of David Bowie, hello, David fellow.
I mean, it's 1 degree of separation there between Fripp and Bowie, like especially because fucking Adrian Belew, the guy, the lead guitarist, he literally played in Bowie's backing band and also Zappa's. So like Adrian Belew and also the Talking Heads up to that point, like the dude had
same as it ever was. Yeah. Oh, so we need to talk about my goat, Tony Levin.
Oh yeah, Tony Levin. Yeah. Oh, Tony Levin played on
even more of a
reason. There you go.
He also played with Dream Theater at one point, Liquid Tension Experiment.
Yeah, no, dude has been around the block, like in the prog world.
Peter Gabriel.
He toured with Gabriel, like on the So tour. Like very.
He's been with Peter Gabriel since the start of his solo career.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, the way he brought like the Chapman stick into like rock prominence, like through this album is just really cool. Like,
yeah,
you hear some of the textures created on that album, like the beginning of Elephant Talk. It's super, super funky, weird in only the way that Crimson can be.
I mean, look at the stream title. Talk, it's all talk.
Same as it ever was.
Adrian Belew's vocals on this album are just magnificent. I mean, you can tell he's very clearly got a like David Byrne inspiration. He's carrying that with him, but he brings a lot of fun to the album, a lot of fun to the proceedings.
Elephantine.
Like, guys.
Speaking, Indiscipline. Indiscipline is like probably my favorite track from this album. It's so nuts.
Probably is mine too. Masterclass of dynamics.
Yeah.
Too.
I say
repeat
frame by
myself
frame.
when I'm under stress. I repeat myself when I'm under stress. I repeat myself when I'm under stress.
I love that song, but I think Frame by Frame is the best song off the record. So.
Yeah, Frame by Frame is incredible as well. Like that's probably the track where the whole interlocking guitar aspect comes together the best.
Absolutely.
Either that or Thalahin and Jinji.
I was about to mention that best bass line on the entire album.
For G in the Jungle.
And that entire story of Blue, you know, the one he relays about almost getting beat up by gangs in the middle, that's just so insane that, you know, the song sprouted from all of that.
Beat up by gangs and held at knife point.
Yeah. Oh, at least
Oh god. But can the 80s light up? Oh, this album's like a 9.5, but really, can the 80s lineup go up from here?
This is a 10 out of 10 album for me.
No.
And this is number 4. Yeah, we're going backwards, Chief.
Yeah, it's honestly a miracle that they even made it to the next album with the same lineup to begin with, given King Crimson's track record to this point, but, you know, somehow they did. Clearly there was something to the Gamelan sound that, you know, they you know, Robert Fripp felt was working, right? But the unfortunate thing is Adrian Belew couldn't write for Adrian Belew couldn't write for the rock Gamelan too well.
Yeah. I will say Neurotica is a bop on this album.
Beat is interesting. I feel like I should like it a lot more than I did. Like, they try to do a lot with it. They try to, you know, tie in like references to the Beat generation, the lyrics. They try to, you know, put in a lot more like, you know, they try to keep the rock Gamelan going, but obviously sort of sand its edges off and make it a bit more new wave. And I don't know.
Crimson King and New Wave should King Crimson and New Wave is like water and oil. It should not work. Like,
I mean,
you don't put this together.
It worked decently enough on Discipline because I feel like they really did bounce like the world influence of everything with, you know, the more I guess progressive technical aspects of King Crimson beforehand. But this is just like, I don't know. There's a lot that just sort of goes in one ear out the other for me.
Yeah,
There is.
One Dave Byrne is plenty. Exactly, Jukebox Cowboy. Yeah, and like Talking Heads, they were already. This was
unlike Dave Byrne. I doubt Adrian Belew is autistic, but I could be wrong.
This was the Talking Heads' time. Like they fucking like. They were lighting up. They were lighting the world on fire with Remain in Light. They were just about to drop Speaking in Tongues and go on, you know, that massive tour. And like,
I mean,
you really couldn't compare. Like trying to ape their own style, even if even if some of the lyrics are funny. You know, like strange spaghetti and all that stuff.
You know what? That's when you realize people think of like they listen to like a David Byron's like, he may be he has some screws loose, but he's talented. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. Talking Heads, what is the most cool, uncool band of all time? A band that even comes close is probably what They Might Be Giants. Maybe
Weezer.
I don't like Weezer. I'm gonna keep it as that. So
that's fair.
I like the meters in the middle. Just like, wow.
No comment.
Yeah, no, there's a lot.
What I will say about Talking Heads is like, name me a white band that could play funk as good as the Talking Heads.
Exactly.
Mm.
Like, and you know, like King Crimson, obviously they try in their own sort of progressive style, and I love. Again, there's some brilliant work that whatchamacallit, Tony Levin gets up to on the Chapman stick here. Like, I think Sartori and Tangiers absolutely slaps, and like, isn't there there's some cool interplay on two. Is it that, or like does Two Hands? Because I know in concert they played like rows of tuned drums or whatever, but I don't know. There's a lot of. That's something else interesting about 80s Crimson is how much they incorporated like electronic drumming into their sound and like all that electronic influence.
I'm trying to think whether it's this album or the next album where Bill Bruford got a writing credit for playing nothing, and and Robert Fripp said, "You practiced restraint."
Oh no, that was actually a trio from the Starless and Bible Black.
Ah.
Yeah, that was where Cross and Fripp and Wetton did their own little thing, and Bruford was just like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna let this hang." But this,
smart dude.
Yeah, I know. Beat though, I don't know. It's it's not my favorite King Crimson album. I think it's very
Still. Here's the thing. This is 7.5 out of 10 and number 9, which means I still put this above In the Wake of Poseidon and Islands.
I mean, I can get that to a degree, right? I mean, Islands and Wake of Poseidon, even if I personally, like those albums, I do understand that they can be a bit derivative of that early King Crimson sound. Obviously by that point, like Peter Sinfield was kind of a he and Fripp were not really seeing eye to eye in terms of lyrical subject matter.
Ladies on the Road.
Ladies of the Road and Formentera Lady.
God.
That's from me.
Now, did they stick the landing for 80s King Crimson, or did they just disintegrate even further?
Let's see. I forgot to say mine. Number 10 on my list, it's a 7.5 out of 10. So,
You mind if I real quick get up and refill on my water real quick?
Go ahead.
All right.
Go ahead.
Going to pull up my water
real
quick.
We'll see to the peanut gallery.
I will be right back, y'all.
Listo.
I think it's.
Oh god, that would have been a wild collaboration. Robert Fripp doing music for Evangelion.
God, man.
That would have been a wild fucking thing.
That would probably made you say Evangelion's the greatest anime of all time.
Or it would have blown people's minds so much it would have made people turn to Orange Tang IRL.
I didn't say Orange Tang. My mind went to Tangerine Dream, the prog band from the 70s. So I was like, hi,
Electronic Pioneers, yeah.
Hi, Tangerine Dream. We'll mention you in Genesis. Huh. Thank you, Mike Oldfield's Tubular Bells and The Exorcist for making that almost a reality. Because there's that.
I love the fact that became a single, even though it was shortened from a 40-minute song.
Yeah, I like, dude. Mike Oldfield was like what, 19 or 20 years old when he made that album, and it's like, man, this album's doing good. The Exorcist guy's like, hi. It's like, hi, hello there. Can I use this? Go ahead. But it's like, honestly, if I'm Mike Oldfield, I should be a little embarrassed because I'm known as the guy who did The Exorcist. But at the same time, it's an honor to be in the one of those pioneering films of the decade. Honestly,
And adjusted for inflation, still in the top 10 for U.S. box office.
Have you heard Utena's soundtrack? She has some crazy prog stuff. I have not actually. So
Revolutionary Girl Utena. Oof. That's one I've been meaning to watch.
Never heard of that, but I might. I'll keep that in mind. So.
I've also heard it's a mind fuck too. So.
Wait a minute. Hang on. I like those. So But I think, in general, no, that's the funny part with prog. It's like it's like that bubble of people. It's like, oh yeah, you work with this, you work with him, and then you work with him, and it's like, whoa, I didn't know you worked for him. He produced that. It's like, like Fripp's like a spider web. It's like well, it goes click, 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 click. It's like click, 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 click. Now,
oh, yeah. I forgot to mention this. Fripp also worked with Eno on Eno's debut album. Plays a bitchin' guitar solo on the track "Babies on Fire."
There you go. Whoa! Don't say, "Whoa, babies on fire." We'll put them out. Fripp and Eno worked on fucking Heroes, man. Man,
yeah,
that.
I'm back.
Hi, back.
Let me just.
Rezi, I just had a cursed thought while you were out.
Oh God,
what
have
if
y'all been
Fripp scored
talking
the
about?
soundtrack to Evangelion?
That I'll do you one better. What if Araki asked him to score the anime for JoJo? I mean, he's aware of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure by this point. He's posted about the Stand on his blog.
Yep.
I mean, here's the thing: if Fripp was asked by Miss Ano-san to do the soundtrack to Evangelion, I think people would probably hail as like the greatest anime of all time. Though I'm like, I don't know about that, but
it's fine. You know, I remember watching it like during lockdown for the first time and really enjoying it for myself.
Yeah.
I'm a proud member of the. I don't think it's that good.
Well,
you're gonna get hate.
It's all good.
I'm only gonna get hate from you.
At least we're not gonna be part of the waifu wars.
Y'all are entitled to your opinions.
Thanks. Back to Encryption and opinions.
We have a perfect pair.
Christian Vander and Magma deserve royalties for Tubular Bells. I do not know that much about that, unfortunately. You know, Magma especially, I'm not that knowledgeable on.
Zool.
Yeah.
I do not know about the Magma connection, but
yeah.
Magma are pre-based at points.
I need to listen to them more properly at some
Also,
point.
their drummer is fucking nuts.
Oh yeah.
Their drummer and their singer, Christian Vander.
How nuts is the drummer?
Probably one of the most impressive jazz fusion drummers I've ever heard. And a bit weird in the head.
Yeah.
All the band's lyrics are in a made-up fictional language devised by the drummer.
Yeah. Oh, this particular PNG is a bit bigger than the others. Huh. Okay.
I mean, Meander, Bram, you should rec me an album before I go to bed tonight, or maybe like I'll listen in the morning, then do 3 sides. So, hi Genesis.
Oh, Genesis.
Alrighty. But anyways,
We have a perfect pair.
Yeah, this.
Oh God! Apart from the title track and something else, I can't really remember anything from this.
I don't either.
I like the first side of tracks. It's I think it's interesting how they went about recording for this. Because obviously they didn't want to replicate the sort of disaster experience they had recording Beat. So they just sort of they tried a bunch of shit, and eventually they were like, okay, we'll compromise. One side is the commercially accessible shit, and the other side is the experimental shit. And it works to an extent. I really, like I said, I do like the side 1, but it kind of loses me with side B a little bit.
There's a lot of this album that's just in one ear, out the other.
Yeah, like, I don't know, like some of
lot.
the ambient tracks, like Nuages and No Warning, they don't really, I don't really remember much of them.
Where's the hook?
Where's
the thing that hooks it into
honestly, I don't remember anything from this record, which sucks too. I generally don't like albums where I don't remember anything from it, because I want to take. Because when I listen to it, I want to take something out of it and say, okay, I like this bit, I didn't like that bit. But this is such a nothing burger of an album that I'm just sitting here, I'm like, okay, I don't remember much from this, but I don't. It's
no wonder Robert. Yeah, this is such a nothing burger of an album. No wonder Robert Fripp broke up the band again.
Honestly, I'm actually shocked he didn't break up the band after Discipline, because what? I mean, here's my thing with isn't like what Fripp only breaks up the band when he realizes that okay, it's like, okay, this band, this incarnation has met its match. We can't top this. Everyone get out. Everyone get out except you, Bill. You get to stay.
Yeah, I agree on side 2, but side 1's the best of the 80s stuff. See, I can understand that for sure. I think like the commercial tracks, they definitely nailed the best balance of like, very, very accessible sort of melodies versus like the experimentation and the rock gamelan. Like, Sleepless is fucking stellar. Like with the bass and the bass groove, just there's a lot of groove to that song, to a few other songs on that side. And I don't know, even side B, there are a few things to love. Like, I really do enjoy Industry. I think that's a really neat, like, grimy sort of industrial track.
I even forgot there's a Lark's Tongues part on this album. That's how forgettable it is.
Well, to be fair, I think that's a little hard to call. I wouldn't say it's the most forgettable Lark's Tongues track. We'll get to that, but it's certainly the most.
No, I was mentioning this album's so forgettable that I forgot there was a Lark's Tongues part in here.
Oh, I forgot too, and I remember. I'm like, damn. They have to go back to peak.
It's just like, I don't know, like, I understand the connective tissue between that part and the rest of the Lark's Tongue suite, and like the first half of that song is fun, but then it just sort of, plods into the distance for the rest of its runtime, and that's the end of the album, and you're just sort of left there like, what?
What? Is that? That's it. That was just a bunch of cheap walks.
Robert Fripp betrayed me. I hate this stupid band.
Yeah.
Robert Fripp won industrial metal. Really? Reverse everything.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like Three of a Perfect Pair. I think it's the middle child of the King Crimson of the 80s King Crimson discography. Like, I love Discipline. I don't really like Beat. Three of a Perfect Pair is kind of, the just right, I guess, compromise sort of, but I don't know. When you're compromised, when you're mixed like that, like you're not really you're not really trying anything
There's some
new there.
undercooked results.
Yeah.
This one's number 11, and it's a 6 out of 10.
Where do I have this? So forgettable. I forgot where I put it. Number 12. So it's the
wow.
number.
So you had that far down on your list.
out of 10. I'm like, this is like, it could have been the worst, but then I remember Wake Up Poseidon was, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, but doesn't move the nail. This tries something. This tries something while most of it fails. I feel like it does something, but again, one ear out the other albums. I don't know, man.
At least,
And to
you know,
skip another decade
at least in
to the year I was born.
at least
No,
in
wait, no.
at least in Crimson breaking up, they were able to sort of filter out into, you know, doing all their own sort of projects in the 80s. Like, wasn't it that, you know, after they broke up, then Tony Levin joined Peter Gabriel for the So Tour, and, like, he even joined fucking Anderson Bruford
And was a
Wakeman
session player
with, with Bruford. He was the live bassist for ABWH.
And to give you how much of a clusterfuck the album I'm about to mention is, he was also a session player on fucking Union.
Oh my god, yeah. Union. I mean, this isn't a yes tier list. This isn't a yes tier
Do
list.
what you want to do. Great. hey, listen, My Heart's a great song, but man, that album blows some chunks at points.
And at least Adrian Belew got to do some pretty cool stuff with Bowie in the early 90s, so he was doing well for himself. But, you know, of course, talking about Thrak, let me bring that up.
What? 96 or 95? I'm getting the years confused.
Not 95, 95, buddy. You'll be 30 soon.
I was born.
My
Yeah.
condolences.
Welcome to. Well, it's a very interesting sound. It's like definitely King Crimson going back to their metal roots, like with Red and all that stuff. But it's
I heard
like
some people at the time going like, "This is King Crimson doing a Tool."
I feel like it's also them doing something very industrial sounding, kind of something. It's weird too. It's like Bowie's Outside, where it's like that industrial sound. Not to the extent of like Nine Inch Nails. God no, but not to that extent. I love
like,
you,
it's
Trent Reznor.
interesting. It's interesting all the sort of sonic textures and layers that they attempt on the album, especially with the whole concept of the double trio, which, you know, it's really cool that they augmented essentially the 80s Crimson lineup with Pat Mastelotto and what's his face, Trey Gunn, like doing their own things, and like I've never heard of like the war guitar before listening to King Crimson, and I haven't heard anything about it, you know, beyond King Crimson honestly, but
Exactly.
I feel like, you know, at this point, like, you know, after Robert Fripp founded like his guitar craft and all that, and started training the League of Crafty Guitarists, like they really went hard into being a guitarist's guitar, like a guitarist band, you know.
Yep.
But Thrak, I'm of two minds about it. Like, the vocal tracks are really cool, and it's nice hearing like the interplay of Bruford and Mastelotto on those songs. But like a lot of the instrumentals just sort of like again, it's in one ear out the other. It's like they're doing interesting stuff with them, but it's like it's kind of like retread ground to me. Like, apparently they recycled a riff from Red for like Vroom Vroom or one of the other onomatopoeic songs on the album.
Dream. Oh, that's my day in my life. I was like, eat, sex, something, eat, sleep, out.
Yeah, sex, sleep, eat, drink, dream.
Sex, eat. I love the voice. I really love this album. I are top 5 album arguably, but
Really?
yes, because again, when I listen to this, I got a lot of Bowie's Outside, because I'm like, this is although there's a part where I accidentally was thinking of Rob Halford's Industrial album, and I was like, oh god, I remember that. The 12 tickets moment.
I think I have to. I think I have to agree with Jukebox Cowboy in chat when he says that the live versions are a bit cool. Like, King Crimson were a fucking touring machine in the mid '90s, and like the double trio concerts, like it's really cool. Like hearing all the sonic textures that they could get up to live.
Feels like they're kind of fighting for space in the studio with that double trio concept.
Yeah, it's one of those where you need a concert to like let everything breathe all at once and it just to take it in. So
right, yeah, it's like I feel like this album is very emblematic of a lot of problems of like '90s albums in general, right? Like it's kind of like over compressed, kind of overly long. Like it goes on a bit longer than it needs to. Like they were really filling the CD run space.
Yeah, that's me with Genesis's "We Can't Dance" and Journey's "Trial by Fire." I think two of the more egregious examples. So I feel like there's a Metallica album that probably does that. Meander, do you know that?
Load and Reload.
Oh yeah, I mean, well, Saint Anger too. Saint Anger was like what, hour and like something minutes, wasn't it?
Literally every Metallica album since Load and Reload have been pushing against the 80-minute mark.
That's true.
When you talk about Resi, don't you like hearing the snare drum blaring through your ear for an hour straight? It's like it's like, that was so loud.
That's what the double trio was missing. Pat Mastelotto should have played a trash can for his snare.
Play that fuck, I know Metallica played that
funky trash can Bill Bruford.
Well, honestly, I wouldn't put it past Bill Bruford, honestly. Like, he played like a broken cymbal on One More Red Nightmare to get that very like tattered sort of sound, so like, I could totally see him do that. Which, honestly, kind of sidebar, apparently he came out of retirement recently to perform like more jazz drumming and stuff with this one orchestra. Yeah. So all the more power to him.
I kind of forgot he was retired, actually.
Yeah, no, he's been very like focused on like sort of cementing his legacy recently. Like I know I think he submitted like a collection of his documents to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in recent times. So like very, very much that, and like curating his legacy on YouTube. Like he's got his own YouTube channel where he just like re-uploads like concerts and like interviews from the past and like inserts his own like commentary in the description. It's really neat seeing what he has to say.
Hey, Bill
Burford.
Yeah,
you're awesome.
Oops, sorry, go ahead. What you were saying?
I said first I'm hearing of that.
Oh, yeah,
and subscribe automatically. So
yeah, the Bill Bruford channel's a fun time. What was I gonna say? Yeah, no, Thrak. It's a decent album. I don't know if it's like one that I'd listen to the entire way through. Like I kind of put this on the same level as something like a Tin Machine, where it's like decent cuts here or there, but like God help you if you try to listen to the entire thing in one sitting and get anything like out of it other than like, huh?
That's what we're gonna have to be doing when we listen to Bowie for the Bowie episode next year.
Tune us next December. Just next December 2025. We're talking about David Bowie with Resi. We're telling you this now. It's like, oh shit.
God.
I mean, you got the time in the world like to listen to all that. So
I mean, we'll see. Yeah, I mean, I'll say this much, right? Like Bowie he's like an undercurrent in my channel with all the content that I've done. Like he was there on the sidelines for Kiss, for glam metal, for a bunch of other topics that I cover.
he keeps showing up in your life. You didn't need to. You're like, oh, son of a bitch, he's here.
Bowie's inescapable, like the Beatles.
He's inescapable to me. So I mean, in fact, I'm wearing him right now.
That's why they call him. That's why they called him a chameleon.
And maybe Bowie's still out there somewhere, even though he's dead.
Oh,
Maybe you know that meme that you know that one meme where it's like damn, I didn't realize the world was falling apart. Then David Bowie died. I was like,
oh no, he was the linchpin. He was the one that was holding everything together. Now that he's gone, just...
I mean, all that shit happening from like last week. I'm like that could fill up a decade, bro. I'm like, that happened all the week.
Cue the Vladimir Lenin quote. Weeks where months, months where weeks happen, or something. I don't know. I forget the quote.
No. My favorite Vladimir Lenin quote's like, "What are you talking about, bro? Nothing ever happens."
Clearly, whoever said that is a fool. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah. No. Final thoughts on Threk?
Love it.
It's a 9.5 out of 10. It's my number 6.
My number 5 is 10 out of 10. But speaking of nothing ever happens, I think that's the next record, right?
Oh God.
This is a dump. I'm just gonna say this right now. It's my bottom.
Damn.
Yeah, I'm inclined.
Not even
to
a bottom
agree with
bitch.
Hey, that's my job.
What happens here, man? Like, Robert Fripp is usually such a stickler for quality control on his albums that just the fact that he allowed a drum sound this
Treading
garbage,
Water album.
The fact that he allowed a drum sound this garbage onto the album, I literally cannot believe that he would think that was a good idea.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I probably out of the four, because Paris did listen to this, but he's asleep right now. So
yeah.
I'm probably the one that likes it a little more than the rest of y'all. I will agree. I think
you must be smoking something giving this an 8 out of 10, Duke.
I like it. That's what I mean. I like it more than everyone. But
and I'm not talking about catnip.
I mean, okay. Let's be honest. I mean, to be fair, you've accused me of taking 3 different drugs during the Prince recording. So,
well, I mean, I can understand that. That took you guys ages.
No.
Duke had some ridiculous takes. Like, he put Parade way too low for my liking, and then put Diamonds and Pearls at number 1. And I'm like, dude, are you on Crocodile, Duke?
No, the best part was keeping that a secret, and even lying to you, I switched up number 1. I even lied to you. But anyway, back to the original point. I like the sound, but I will agree with the sentiment itself. This not even like the bad drumming production. I think this is kind of more like a self-congratulatory album. You're not moving the needle, but it's kind of like you're doing the same stuff that made you successful, but to diminishing quality. You too, but
it's like, I don't know how to say, like, it's the way I put it in my video. I mean, kind of spoilers for my video. It's like, as opposed to previous King Crimson albums where there's more trajectory, where there's more variety from track to track, like this album, it just sort of feels like it starts weird and heavy and it ends weird and heavy, and like there's not a lot of variance in between there.
Yeah.
Like Prozac Blues. Why did that's another thing. Why did Robert Fripp think it was a good idea to lead with a track where Adrian Belew's voice was distorted to shit?
Yeah! Pitched down to unbelievable degree.
Yeah, it's just like... It's so weird. Like, the vocal tracks on this album are so weird. Like, probably the weirdest Belew's contributed to. Like, between, Prozac Belew's, between... I said Belew's. Between fucking... whatchamacallit?
I mean, Baloo may as well be on Prozac with that song.
Yeah. Into the frying pan. The world's my oyster soup wax kitchen floor something or other. That like all those songs are really weird.
Those are that's the title.
Like the only vocal track that I'm interested in like revisiting is probably the title track.
Yeah.
And even then, like it's I don't know. There's some lyrics there about like us being like a speck of lint on the penis of an alien or something. Like I don't know what it was about the lyrics for this album, but Baloo was just sort of going. I guess they were recording in his like home studio. Probably they were like in familiar turf for him, and they just sort of they got lazy. Is the thing they got lazy? They got very weird with it. In weird in a way that's I don't know that just completely not flies in the face of everything that's come before, but just like
it's not King Crimson.
Not even that. It's just like it's King Crimson going through the motions.
Treading water.
Yeah, treading water, not really doing anything with like the weirdness is the thing.
I mean, you have a song that retreads Fracture, and then you have
oh yeah,
you have
Lark's Tongues and Aspic Part 4 is my least favorite Lark's Tongues and Aspic part. Like bar none.
How come you ruin these guys? Come on. But it's like it's like at a point it feels like a King Crimson tribute band at points. Kind of like where Journey is and where Yes is. Like very very self-congratulatory. It's like hey, do you like the stuff we did?
Yeah.
Do you want that like do you want the great value version? There you go.
Have any of
Duke? That's too generous. You want it's more like you want the Dollar General version.
Oh,
Wish.com Thrack.
No, Timo.
Bandicam Thrack.
I've never heard of that one.
Jukebox Cowboys wondering if we've ever listened to
Cam
anything Toya Wilcox. I've never personally listened to a Toya Wilcox thing.
I've not.
Good on Fripp though for I guess spending time and having fun with his wife. I think their videos are cute. I don't really watch them, but it's fun seeing what they get up to. Yeah, no, I don't know. Construction of Light. It's I can hear what they were going for
out
in
of
some
10.
places. They're like. There's actually like one thing they were trying here called like Hawk It. It's sort of an evolution on like their whole gamelan thing where they were just sort of playing a melody one note at a time, like sort of trading off between each other. And it's neat when it comes off really well. Like, like I said, the title track of the album, Construction of Light, is probably where it sort of comes together the best. But, like you said, yeah, it's a very middling album otherwise, because I don't think they really take full advantage of that.
Well, it's an 8 out of 10. It's number 9 on my list, so technically speaking, it's up.
Number 9, and it's an 8 out of 10. I think there's a bit of inflation going on in your ratings there, too.
No,
King Crimson inflation.
Okay. Let's be honest. Let's look up King Crimson inflation because I mean here's the thing. If Robert Fripp can have a fucking OnlyFans account, we might as well have King Crimson inflation. So might as fucking well.
Oh my god.
Now, Duke, you're gonna get accounts there of the band for inflation and of the stand inflation.
Man, I got well. I mean, to be fair, Reggie, that's I give myself shit like that sometimes. Right? I finally there are points where I'm too lenient with an album score, or sometimes I'm too strict with it. I
Yeah,
there's a
yeah.
difference with me and Meander. Meander's a lot more. I feel like Meander's a lot more strict with her score. She's like,
Right,
Sometimes.
right. I mean, I don't have a
You'll
problem
see
either
a
way. I
good example
totally
when we do Genesis.
I totally get wanting to, rate a bunch of albums by a band you love highly. I mean, fuck, practically half the King Gizzard discography I put in either S tier or A tier, so.
I'll get to you, King Lizzie.
So anyways, we're coming up to the final album here. This stream's been going by quicker than I thought, honestly.
Yeah.
We should have glazed the first album more.
It's fine, honestly, if we
No,
need
it's
to
all
talk
good.
about any assorted King Crimson or
Tell me
whatever
about it.
to close the album out, close the stream out, that's fine. Anyways, the power to believe.
We are the power
With
to
a-
believe.
Which opens with level 5, which I believe is supposed to be a 5th Lark's Tongues and Aspic.
Yeah, which honestly it's a far better Lark's Tongues part than part 4 because it just goes so many different cool places with it. Like,
And this is their metal album.
something I really love about, Power to Believe. They go really hard with the industrial samples, and in most cases I think it really works well.
Well, it has a really funny Adrian Bella vocal takes that's out. It's like, we are power to believe. It's like I actually had to pause and rewind that when I heard that. I was like, wait, hang on, is that Adrian Bella, mate? It's like, oh shit, it is.
Yeah, the vocoder samples on this album are fun. That's another thing about Power to Believe. I like the sort of recurring suite of songs, that throughout it better than I did the one that was going on through Wake of Poseidon. I just think that with the Power to Believe, they were able to sort of weave through like a lot more interesting like sonic textures per part and like kind of tie it in a bit more with the rest of the album in texture.
Exactly.
You really like the Epitaph which one's the Epitaph compilation? Is that the album where they is that the live album from like 1969? Or it could be
If we're talking about live albums, are we gonna go about ones that sound like pieces like crap with recording? Think cough off Earthbound.
I don't know too much about that, but
I don't know either.
I looked it up.
kinda...
It was apparently a bootleg. It was recorded in the back of someone's truck while it was raining.
And I would
the
still
record
decided to
label-
release that.
The record label went behind Fripp's back to release it.
Wow. At least they did a better job with the next live album. That USA album has actually got some pretty cool cuts.
Yeah.
I didn't do the live albums like
Nor did I. Like, I really
I was just reading up on a couple of them.
Oh, to be fair, I think Crimson's one of those bands that sound a fuck ton better live than in the studio.
Yep.
I guess I would agree in some respects. I don't know. We can get into this more later, but I do think that I don't know. There are some things that on the Crimson live recordings, especially because they've been more reluctant to play like a lot of tracks from their back catalog. There is a lot of benefit really to going back and plumbing through their studio discography. And like, I don't know, with Eyes Wide Open, I think something that's really I wish there were more cool vocal tracks on there. Like, I like Eyes Wide Open and Facts of Life. They're decent enough as is, but Happy With What You Have to Be Happy With is a little cornball.
there was another lineup with Gavin Harrison, and then they just became a live-only band, and
Yeah, that's the thing.
I cried when Meander told me. I was like, man, I was like, man, I was having fun with the Porcupine Tree and all. There's the connection right there. Bam. 6 Degrees is Steven Wilson, everyone. But
yeah.
And with how Fripp's getting up there in years, I think this is the last time they're probably gonna. I don't think they're getting back together.
Yeah, no, I think they're broken up for good, which honestly, you know, I'm fine with. I think Fripp is I think he's earned his retirement.
He's earned his sliders is probably one of the best and most important musicians who's ever lived, especially in context of the late 60s and the 70s.
And King Crimson into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, you fucking cowards!
Oh my God, are they still not in? Really?
Oh
no.
That's fucked. I mean,
I
know the Rock Hall at this point is more like it's more a formality, if anything. But like, I feel like, I don't know.
Also get Emerson, Lake, and Palmer in there while Carl Palmer's still on this earth.
Yeah.
I mean, in fact, we're recording this on I think was the day after the anniversary of Greg Lake's passing and all that. So it's very.
Man. Yeah, Greg Lake and John Wetton, they passed the same year, really close to each other.
I know. Keith Emerson died that year too. So
man.
Was
not a good year to be a prog fan.
No, listen. No, listen. You know that year's gonna be shit when my dad woke me up that Monday before I went to school. Was like, hey, Bowie died.
God.
Hey, got me more than him. Let's keep it $150. So.
Yeah. No, that's fair. I mean, I don't know. I think Power to Believe overall, it's a good album. If King Crimson's not gonna get together, I think it's a decent final record.
9 out of 10. It's number 7 for me.
I believe it was 7.5 out of 10. And it was 8.
Nice. So, I guess you guys could just recap your rankings or what have you. Like, what was what was the order you had them in?
Bottom was, all right, I'll go. Number 13 was Construction of Light, 4.5 out of 10. 12 was Islands, 5.5 out of 10. 11 was Three of a Perfect Pair, 6 out of 10. 10 was In the Wake of Poseidon, 7 out of 10.
Oh, take care, Jukebox Cowboy.
Hey, take care.
Sorry, what you were saying?
Beat, 9 was Beat, 7.5 out of 10. 8 was Power to Believe, 7.5. 7 was Starless and Bible Black, 8.5 out of 10. 6 is Thrack, another 8.5 out of 10. Alright. I must have misread it when I read it earlier as a 9.5. What the fuck is this smoking? 5 is Lizard, a 9 out of 10. 4 is Discipline, 9.5 out of 10. 3 is Lark's Tongues and Aspect, 10 out of 10. 2 is The Debut in the Core of the Crimson King. In the Core of the Crimson King.
Crimson Ting.
10 out of 10.
Right.
And number 1, 10 out of 10 Gold Stars, which I took from Rock Band to mean you're better than the best. Red, 10 out of 10 Gold Stars is number 1.
They got the full band FC on that shit.
That's me. See, number 13 In the Wake of Poseidon with a 6.5 out of 10. 12, Three of a Perfect Pair, that's 7. Number 11, Starless and Bible Black, it's a 7.5 out of 10. Beats, number 10, 7.5 out of 10. Number I just think Meander has a chair on her. It's just like, don't you dare say it. Number 9, Construction of Light, because remember how like the KC's like super capitalized. So
core literacy is cool.
8 out of 10.
You
Forgot
learned that from Prince.
oh Lord. Oh, what weird way of spelling stuff for hitting me with a chair. Number 8, that's
And
Lizard.
here comes
8,
Meander with the steel chair.
8.5 out of 10, that's Lizard. Number 7, Power Thief. 9 out of 10. That's weird enough, my only 9 on this list. That's actually insane. Number 6, Islands, that's a 10 out of 10. Number 5, Frack, 10 out of 10. Number 4, Discipline, 10 out of 10. Super close to 11. Number 3, The In Court of the Crimson King, that's an 11 out of 10. My 11s are like gold stars, but I'm too lenient with 11 out of 10s. Number 2, Red, 11 out of 10. And number 1, the best album, the greatest, Lark's Tongues in Aspic, 11 out of 10.
Hell yeah. Well, that's a cool ranking for both of y'all's. Obviously, my ranking I'll reveal when the video premieres. Though we've still got roughly like 25 minutes or whatever until that point. I don't know. Is there anything you guys still want to talk about? I can bump the premiere time probably up by like 15 minutes.
So.
Oh, you got pizza. That's cool.
I just ordered it while we were doing the end of it.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I don't know. I've already got like some popcorn that I'll probably help myself to for for the premiere.
I don't.
What's up, Duke?
Not much. I'm just like, and I work. I thought yesterday was my birthday and all, and I thought we're gonna do the cake today, but I'm moving back up to Ohio next month, so which means potential Algorhythms meetup if we're not dead by then. So but
Well, if you're in Ohio, you're already halfway there already. So be
hey,
careful.
hey, my family.
Halfway there, living on a prayer.
I mean, could be. I mean, that I'm gonna be neighbors to another shitty state, the one where Meander lives. So,
yeah.
and she knows about rock.
Families talk about moving maybe after Sadie gets her degree in biology in May. We don't know where. A blue state, Illinois. What, New York?
Anywhere.
State, New York.
I need it. I need a. I mean, yeah.
Oh yeah,
like,
Justin, dude, you posted a ranking. I completely forgot. Yeah, it's my Lizard, Poseidon. Is that in least to most liked? I can't really tell, but it's it. Oh yeah, you did say you liked Lizard the best. I can understand that. It's a very unique album. I mean, it's a shame that I guess Gordon Haskell and Fripp never seem to have reconciled, because I feel like he did contribute a decent part to that album, even if he probably didn't want to acknowledge that. Oh, you did best to worst? Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
That makes sense. But when you have all that...
A doggo on Discord.
Oh my god, that's the Grinch.
Fluffy.
But it's like, yeah, I'm like moving back up. I'm already like cycling through the emotions and stuff and all that. I'm probably gonna cycle through those emotions again, like throughout next year. But honestly, as long as things go my way, I should be fine.
Dude, let's just say it. As a queer person, you're better off there in Ohio. Slightly better off in Ohio than Florida. At this
Hey, that's queer Florida man to you. Oh, yeah, but no, I mean, I got it's kind of funny too how Meander. I thought it was gonna be cool and all, doing dating my best, dating a friend and dating someone. And it's like, everything's gonna go so well. What do you mean it has to go to shit?
Oh, just some dude. I think he wants to know when you guys are covering Genesis.
Next,
We're doing the recording next Sunday.
Next Sunday.
Nice.
And who knows when that episode will be uploaded because we're having a massive schedule slip.
Yeah, let me
Let
me actually post their a link to their show in chat, because I believe I've shared their channel on my channel a few times before, but it's always good to have.
Check out our Judas Priest episode with Resi. Not the Kiss one. We ignored I ignored the Kiss one. Judas Priest is where it's at. So
Duke is not proud of how he performed on the Kiss episode because he doesn't really care for Kiss that much as a band.
but I made up for it with Judas Priest. So in the end, I think it was worth it. But Genesis, I've been done with it for at least a couple weeks.
Texted me like, who's the better singer, Bruce Dickinson or Rob Halford? And he goes like, which one's the gay one?
Yeah, but it's like very. I've already been done with it. So Meander's currently after this all said and done, she's gonna do Abacat 3 sides. Soren did the self-titled. Paris doing the lists and stuff. So honestly, I've been preparing this one since actually when we did Peter Gabriel to start the year. Actually, I was like, oh, it'd be perfect enough.
Book in the year with Genesis. We know that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was supposed to be a 3-parter, but because of But because of you and Rats in the Attic, fucking idiot, fucking massive fucking idiot, I had to scrap The Killers and Dire Straits for later projects.
Rats in the Attic, thanks to this.
Oh god.
Good thing that's not showing on the YouTube chat.
I mean, honestly, Meander, that is not the worst thing you've shown on. I've seen you on. So,
I'm never gonna live that moment down.
The Green Day incident.
Green Day episode where I had on camera where I actually flashed my tits.
Oh god.
God, I am not letting you down. I'm like, we're gonna have our own fucking nipple gate. If this,
I'm proud to be compared to Janet Jackson in one respect.
Wait, my Justin Timberlake, I actually the song.
Who's the Justin Timberlake of that, though?
Oh, good. Here's an Algorhythms idea for you. You guys when you eventually get to covering Michael Jackson, if you haven't done that already, you should devote sub episodes to other Jacksons.
Maybe.
Maybe Janet's as a separate episode at some point.
Yeah, because honestly, that just depends on who we talk about. If it's Janet, then I'll fucking glaze Velvet Rope for 2 fucking hours straight, because that's the quintessential R&B album.
I unfortunately
I
admit
I can confirm that first 2 artists we're doing for 2025. We're going to be doing Kendrick Lamar to make sure his episode gets up the day before the Super Bowl.
Right.
Mustard!
And the next will be Dream Theater. After that, we will be doing Random Wheels to determine most of the year.
Nice.
Except the end of the year. End of the year is bullet, but I'm going to be honest. I expect everyone.
The exceptions are being birthday months and September, because September we're gonna be doing Big 4 of Britpop to celebrate the 30th anniversary of What's the Story, Morning Glory.
Oh boy.
If it's Lloyd, you boy.
Remind me the Big 4 other than Blur and Oasis. It's Suede and Pulp.
Suede and Pulp. Pulp and Suede.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Kinks.
Mm-hmm.
Who influenced all of them.
Yeah, because while the Beatles, Rolling Stones, who did their own stuff, especially the Who did a lot of art rock stuff. The Kinks said, you know what, we're gonna stay in Britain influence our music. It's like you hear a lot of Britpop influence on those tracks. Now the question. I know, Bowie. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna let you guys start on that like when the new year starts, because I want everybody to be locked in and not crunch in October, November. It's like this. It's like take your time with it. Like it's gonna be like an all year project. So.
All right.
Yeah.
I know that the only thing I know beyond that is I want to do the classic Big Four of 60s British invasion as the lead up to the end, and the 100th episode. So episode 97, The Kinks. Episode 98, The Who. Episode 99, The Rolling Stones. And episode 100, The Beatles.
We're gonna have everyone we know fucking cameo in that. It's like hi Huey, hi honey, hi Ellie.
Hi, Bezzy.
I will. Yeah, I'll have to find some time to do whatever for that. I mean, at the very least, I'd love to.
Even if you just show up at the end and we all sing along, hate. Nah.
Nah, 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 nah.
Oh my god.
All 4 minutes of it. Nah, 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 nah. Hey, Jude.
Jude, did you say the duh at the end, or did you accidentally say hey, Jude?
No, that's not what I'm talking about. No, that happens to me. I always forget the D. I always forget the D in Jude.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
I'll have to check out the Priest episode. Yeah, go ahead. I was a fan of like getting to redo that Priest rankings. Actually, like you know, the tier list that's
and it
premiering
includes
in a bit.
Invincible Shield.
Oh yeah. The tier list that I'm
included. That tier ranking was pre-Invincible Shield.
Yeah. Like this tier list, this King Crimson tier list I'm going to be premiering in a bit. It's a redo of like this old tier list that I did like 3 years ago, and the Priest podcast that I did with these guys. It's also kind of a redux of a similar stream I did. So if you definitely want to hear like my most recent up-to-date opinions in a format that's a lot more presentable than very poor audio quality early streaming day resi, definitely check them out.
But I'll say this.
I know there is another tier list artist that's on the wheel that could be grinded.
Oh yeah.
Pantera.
Oh yeah.
I'll willingly do it, despite Pantera as a band. I will do them.
And Bill Anselmo in particular.
Yeah.
Is going to be the front of so many.
It's the 20th anniversary of a weird segue. Pantera, Dimebag Darrell's passing.
I saw
20
that.
years ago today. Shit.
And also another assassination of a musician. I was gonna make a joke. I forgot his name. You had to ruin it. No, I'm gonna be honest. His assassination proved probably one of Yoko Ono's best albums. Like Bright sunglasses, mate. But
yeah.
The fact you use that as an album cover.
I would say this is Judas Priest episode. Honestly, of all the episodes we recorded this year, I think probably up there is one of my favorites because I think this was like all 4 of it.
Because I had a fangasm on Prince.
That
episode is sick. I think the raw audio file for Prince was longer than Judas Priest. I think it was close to 6 hours.
To be fair with Prince, that was I love the album. I love like listening to some albums, but doing the listening was probably like a very tiresome. But I mean, because we kept pushing it back, so I just wanted to get.
Honestly, we're probably not going to have one that's as long as Prince in terms of minutes until we do King Get Lizzy in 2026.
King Lizzy and the Wizzy Lizzies.
Rockarola is great. Fight me. I won't fight you, but these guys might. I think Rockarola is personally an underrated. Well, not an underrated gem, but just like underrated.
Rockarola,
that Rockarola remaster. I kind of hope they do the same for and Wings of Destiny.
Yeah. No, the Rockarola remaster is stellar. It's exactly how that album should have sounded for so long.
honestly, I need to re-listen to that. I just sat myself. I'm like, if that's what it was, and not I'm actually kind of glad this sounds like an album at points. Probably a 6 or a 7, because I feel like it's still kind of there's that weak early Judas Priest stuff, but thankfully, Sad Wings of Destiny was the next album. So Tyrant.
God, I love early Priest.
Oh wait, May of this year is gonna be another treat. Are we gonna get you on for Iron Maiden?
Hell yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, I don't know. It depends. Like,
And you're be cosplaying the recently retired Nico McBrain.
Yeah, it's interesting how, like, he's been around with them for like 42 years or something like that, hasn't he? Or some ridiculous.
Was his first album. He's been there since Peace of Mind, and he's never left.
Yeah, that's fucking
Soren was
crazy.
telling me he had a stroke in like 2023, and he had to relearn a lot of physical therapy just to be able to play.
Oh yeah, I think I do remember hearing about that. That would
it's
explain.
It's no surprising his decision to retire.
Yeah. God bless him.
Yeah,
like,
honestly, I totally get it.
One of the more underrated metal drummers too, especially given he doesn't really use double kick. Ever.
And apparently they've already got like a replacement lined up for him for touring. Like I think it's like a Bruce, somebody Bruce knows or something to that.
Ooh.
I don't know.
I mean that sounds better. But hey, Meander, you want to hear the worst words you could ever use in music? you two making new music.
Wait, what? They are? Really? Why?
Yeah,
yes.
It's supposed to be a sci-fi album with Brian Eno. I read that. My jaw dropped. I was like, oh my god, U2's making new music. This is really the end of the world.
Oh god, why are they bringing Brian Eno into this? I know they made their best work with him, but like...
He also made No Line on the Horizon to start the decline.
It's like Unforgettable Fire, that's their best album. Joshua Tree, that's like their greatest. Also, 2000
Baby
album.
is my fave, U2, so...
They also did All That You Can't Leave Behind. That's a good album, but I argue that's kind of the start of a decline. Because remember what happened with Pop, where they were...
I can't really speak much to U2 beyond like maybe War and the Joshua Tree. Those are the only
And
U2
of course,
albums
everyone remembers the Apple fiasco.
I can't believe Bono violated the consent of everybody by releasing shit music and making everyone listen to it.
Oh my god. Fucking Songs of Innocence. Or what was Songs of Innocence? Songs of Surrender? I forget what the fuck the song.
It was Songs of Innocence.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing innocent about that record. Oh man, that's another one of my favorite. That's another one of my favorite episodes that we recorded. Cause I think that was like that. I'll be honest. I think it was just supposed to be me and Para fucking dominating a lot of that. Yeah, and like you and Soren took a lot of back seats. They're like, okay, let these two guys gawk at Bono for being a milk toast fucking liberal. So I am keep on, I am progressive in a lot of things, but Bono fits the
Bono's liberal.
No, Bono is the rich celebrity that tries to, throw his wealthy dick around for philanthropy and all that. Yeah, that sort of type.
The type of liberal that the dead Kennedys talked about in Holiday of Cambodia.
No, it's funny. No, it's like, again, I mean, it's Sultan way, even though I guess in a way I'm progressive, but it's like, it's really funny how much I can try as a milquetoast fucking liberal who's like, that shit he did where it's like he clapped his hands up. Every time I clap my hands, a kid in Africa dies, and everyone's like, "Stop fucking clapping, you fucking monster!" That's not how you do. That whole shit and Rattle and Hum. Meander, do you remember that with like Rattle and Hum, where like he tried to be he tried to tap into that like Peter Gabriel, Michael Jackson, like I'm a
He starts the
humanitarian.
album with a Helter Skelter cover that goes, that he starts it off with, Charles Manson took this song for the Beatles. We're here to take it back. And I'm like,
Oh my god,
what
just
the
some dude. I love how the Edge is the least edgy band to exist. Oh my god.
No, you reminds
Even
reminds
the
me of
least
that.
edgy member of that band too.
I mean, no. Wait, you said the least edgy member, bros and I can't believe I'm actually gonna say this on air. I'm really sorry about this. He's basically been inside Bono's ass for 40 years and he can't get out of it. So, well, I'm really sorry I said that, but I remember this quote from Henry Rollins when he was on the Howard Stern show, where it's like it was like the weakest rhythm section, man. Drummer can't drummer, bass can't play, guitar players only got one riff. Which, I mean, to an extent, the Edge has got that like the fucking delay pedal that he uses a lot. So to be fair, he ain't wrong. And Bond's like a splitter for food.
David Gilmour walked on Run Like Hell so the Edge could run.
Hey.
It's true.
Dude's favorite
It's
guitar
true.
player of all time. So, as for my favorite guitar player, stay tuned for Dream Theater.
I mean, I love doing that Gilmore episode, but I'm on. Listen, that's containing a lot of stuff. I want to wait for fucking Pink Floyd when we might do them next year. Wish You Were Here turns 50, so maybe.
I have to put him back on the wheel.
What?
They're a
But
Duke December band. You have to choose between Pink Floyd or Bowie.
Well, that's the problem. I'm like,
I think we already chose Bowie.
yeah, it chose Bowie. That's what I say. It's like when you do the album lists, I'm not gonna make you guys crunch like in like October, November. I'm like, this is like you're gonna start in January and end in April, and I would not fucking care. As long as you're like
Here's the thing. I've noticed that when I do crunch, I have my notes prepared a lot quicker and it feels fresher in my head going into the episode.
No. Listen, Meander, you're talking to me, and when it comes to Bowie, man, I'm just gonna be like, honestly, I'm gonna
be a
be
walking encyclopedia. I
No,
know how you love Bowie.
I'm gonna be honest. I jokingly told Meander that I should be wheeled into the fucking recording booth like I'm Hannibal Lecter. I had that muzzle in my mouth.
Oh my god.
I'm like, afternoon, Meander.
Alright. Sorry to cut you guys off, but it looks like we're approaching the hour of the premiere. But thank y'all again, so much for tuning in again to all. Oh, where did
she went sayonara.
Oh no.
Well, shit, come back. I mean, she's gotta do Abacab anyway, so she's already going through hell. So.
Oh god. Well, in any case, thank you guys both for joining. It's been great. Getting to talk through the King Crimson discography with a few other folks. And for the rest of you, if you want to stick around and see my full, unadulterated opinions with the albums ranked in the tier list, the video will be premiering right after this stream, and I'll be redirecting you right to it. So yeah, stick around, y'all.
Thank you.
Yeah, but I will see y'all. Otherwise, if you're tuning in for an early bedtime in the next stream, but in either case. Thank y'all once again for tuning into the stream tonight, and I will see y'all next time. Oh, fuck. Wrong facial expression. Next time. Goodbye.
Bye.